Good morning and welcome to today's lesson on finding the volume of rectangular pyramids. Our do now reads a rectangular prism and its dimensions are shown in the diagram. What is the total surface area of this rectangular prism in square inches? Then we have a bubble sheet that we have to fill in. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write out the formula for total surface area. And that is P times H plus 2 times big B or uppercase B. And just as a review, the P stands for the perimeter of the base, and the capital B stands for the area of the base, or the base area. And so I also have to highlight the base. So as a reminder, the base is usually going to be the shape that is touching the surface or is on the top or the bottom. Sometimes it can be front and back, but in this case, let's just think of the base as the top and the bottom, or the shape that would be touching the surface if the three-dimensional shape was on a table. Next, we have to find out what the perimeter of the base is. So to do that, since it's a rectangle, I'm just going to add up the four sides. So we have 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 3.4 plus 3.4, because the perimeter is the area, or the distance, the distance around the shape. Then we have to multiply the perimeter of the base shape by the height of the shape, which in this case is going to be 2. Then we're adding that to 2 times the area of the base. So since the base shape is a rectangle, I'm multiplying one side length by the other side length. So then I'm multiplying 8.2 times 3.4. And now I have to calculate the value . So if I add together 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 3.4 plus 3.4, I get 46.4. Then if I multiply 8.2 times 3.4 and then multiply it by 2, that value by 2, I get 55.76. When I add together 46.4 plus 55.76, I get 102.16. And my unit of measurement is going to be inches squared, since this is surface area. So now I'm going to have to fill in my answer into this bubble sheet. So if my decimal point is right here, I know that 2 goes in front, then the 0, then the 1, and then 1 and 6 go behind the decimal point. Then I'm going to color in the appropriate bubble for the number. Today's TEK is 7.9a. Again, our lesson target is that you will be able to find the volume of rectangular pyramids, and your DOL is that given 4 problems, you will be able to find the volume of rectangular pyramids 4 out of 4 times, or with 100% accuracy. Some academic vocabulary words to go over are the words area, rectangle, rectangular pyramid, and volume. So just as a review, a pyramid is a 3D shape, or a three-dimensional shape, whose base is a polygon and whose other faces are all triangles. So the base can either be a rectangle, a triangle, or a pentagon, or any other polygon, but the faces, the sides that are facing you all around, are going to be triangles. And like a prism, a pyramid is named by the shape of its base. So for example, the base of this rectangular pyramid is a rectangle. The base of this triangular pyramid is a triangle. The base of this pentagonal pyramid is a pentagon. And it says that the faces of a pyramid that are not the base have a common vertex. The vertex is this top point, the meeting point of all of the triangles, and it's called the vertex of the pyramid. And so the distance from the vertex to the base of the pyramid is going to be the height of the pyramid. So the area formula for the volume of a pyramid is volume is equal to 1/3 times big B, which stands for base area times the height. And the success criteria for today's problems include 1, I can identify the appropriate formula. 2, I can label and find the value of important parts of the shape. 3, I can substitute values into the formula. And 4, I can evaluate or calculate the formula. So before we get into the I do's and the we do's and the you do's, we're going to fill out this chart right here, which gives us the base of the rectangle, the height of the rectangle, area of the base, which is big B or uppercase B, base area, height of the prism or the pyramid, and then the volume formula, which is V is equal to 1/3 base area times height. So this is what a rectangular pyramid looks like, and the volume is going to be how much can be filled inside of it, how much water, how much rice, how much beans could be filled inside that shape. And then the net of the rectangular pyramid is what you would get if you were to cut one side open and then unfold it. So we have, in this case, it looks like a square, but in other cases, we might have a rectangle and then 4 triangles. So we're going to fill in the missing values in this chart. So if we know that the base of the rectangle is 2 inches and the height of the rectangle is 4 inches, to find the base area, I'm just multiplying 2 times 4, which gives me 8. So it's 8 inches squared, since I just multiplied 2 inches by 4 inches. And then the height of the prism is 9 inches. So 8 times 9 is 72. But then I have to do 72 divided by 3. Since I'm doing 1/3 times base times height. So 72 divided by 3 is going to be 24. So we have 24 inches cubed. Because over here, when we multiplied inches squared by another inch, there's 3 inches. And then in this case, we're given the volume and we're given the height, but we have to work backwards to find the base area and then afterwards the height of the base shape. Okay, so I'm going to write out my volume formula, which is V is equal to 1/3 base area times height. I'm going to plug in what my volume is, which is, we know in this case is 160, is equal to 1/3. I don't know what my base area is, so I'm going to keep my uppercase B, but I do know that my height is 12. So next, I'm going to multiply or calculate what I can. So we have 1/3 of 12, which is the same thing as 12 divided by 3, and that gives me 4. So now we have 160 is equal to 4b. So I can either think what number times 4 makes 160, or I can do the inverse or the opposite operation of 4 to move it to the other side. So in this case, 4 is being multiplied by b. So the opposite of multiplying by b is dividing both sides by 4. Or the opposite of multiplying by 4 is dividing by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So I have b is equal to, and then 160 divided by 4 is 40. So that gave us the base area is 40 inches square. And then to figure out what the height of the base shape is, if we know that we would have to multiply 4 times a number to get 40, I can also do 40 divided by 4 to get 10. So 4 times 10 is 40, but we can also do 40 divided by 4 to get the 10. For the last missing value, we have to find the height of the prism, and we're given the volume as well as the base area. So again, I'm going to write out the volume formula, So we have V is equal to 1/3 times base area times height. Our volume in this case is 48 is equal to 1/3. Our base area is 6, but we don't know what our height is. So next I'm going to multiply what I can. So we have 1/3 times 6, which is the same thing as 6 divided by 3. So then we have 2h. Now to move the 2 to the other side, I'm going to do the opposite operation. The opposite of multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so I'm left with h is equal to 48 divided by 2 is 24. So my height is going to be 24 inches. So that was a little warm-up for today's lesson. This first IG problem reads, a glass paperweight in the shape of a rectangular pyramid has a base that is 4 inches by 3 inches and a height of 5 inches. And we have to find the volume of the paperweight. So the first thing is to identify the appropriate formula, and that is going to be V is equal to 1/3 B times H. And because it's an uppercase B, we know that we have to find the area of the base. So next, we're going to substitute the values into the equation. If I was confused about the different values, I could also draw the shape and label it right here. So if the base is a rectangle, it says that the base, one side of the base is 4 inches, the other side is 3 inches, and the height of the shape is 5 inches. And the B stands for the base area. So to find the base area, I'd have to multiply 3 times the 4, because to find the area of a rectangle, you're multiplying one side length by another side length. And then I would have to multiply the height of the pyramid, which in this case is 5. So according to order of operations, I have to do whatever is in the parentheses first. So 3 times 4 is 12. And then I'm going to multiply. So we have 12 times 5, which is 60. So now I have 1/3 times 60. And then the last thing that we have to do is we have 1/3 times 60, which is the same thing as 60 divided by 3. And I have 20. And since our unit of measurement is inches, and since we multiplied inches by inches by inches, that gives us 3 inches. It's inches cubed. If I were to write my answer in a verbal statement, it would be the paperweight has a volume of 20 cubic inches. This next IG problem reads, some of the dimensions of a square pyramid are shown in the diagram. The height of the square pyramid is 7.5 meters. What is the volume of the square pyramid in cubic meters? So in this case, we are given a diagram, so we don't have to draw it. So the square pyramid already has the base length and width, or the base side lengths labeled as 9 meters. And so I'm just going to label the height of the pyramid, which is 7.5 meters. I'm also going to highlight the base shape, which is a rectangle, and it's also been drawn at the bottom right here. So first off, I'm going to write out the volume formula for a rectangular pyramid. A square pyramid is a type of rectangular pyramid because a square is a type of rectangle. So our volume formula is V is equal to 1/3 times base area times height Since I've already labeled and found the important parts of the shape, I'm going to go ahead and substitute. So to find the base area, I multiplied the 9 times the 9, which gave me 81. And then I have to multiply the 81 by 7.5, which is the height of the pyramid. Once I do that, (81 times 7.5), I get 607.5. And then I have to divide it by 3. So once I divide 607.5 divided by 3, I get 202.5. And then my unit of measurement in this problem is meters, so it's going to be meters cubed. Because it is a multiple choice problem, I'm going to choose my correct answer, which in this case is A. There's several you-do problems. Remember to refer to the success criteria in the upper right-hand corner if you're confused about what to do. And then lastly, you're going to have a 4-question Google form DOL. Thank you so much for following along in today's lesson, and see you in the next math video.